A very happy Thursday, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing great today. Let's jump on over to the calendar. We do have news today. We have news at 8:30 with unemployment claims, like the 8:30 news drops. And then we have obviously the New York Open at 9:30. But once the news drops here, I'm more than happy to start looking for a position. All right. Today I won't be trading myself, or unlikely. I'm getting ready to go camping for the weekend. And as a result, I need an early night, basically. All right, guys, right now, Tradeify, 35% off. 35% off until the 25th of April across all accounts. Code Jimmy Trades. Apex, 90% off. 90% off until I think it'll be like 11:59 p.m. On the 24th. So that's today. So 11:59 p.m. today. I'm just going to double check that. So yeah, 17 hours to go. All right. To grab 90% off your Apex evals. Code Jimmy for that one. Alrighty, let's have a look at NQ. Had a neutral bias yesterday. I was happy with that. Price action after sort of the 9:30 open, or even just prior to, it was not something I wanted to participate in, get myself involved in. It was not nice. So I was happy enough with our neutral bias. We can see that because we'd already had that expansion up to the highs there during that. Actually, I'll go to the 15-minute. Here we go. Yeah, so it was around that 10 o'clock, 10:30. We had that expansion through, and it was just not the cleanest PA on the lower time frames. Not something I wanted to get involved in. So I sat on my hands. And that's all right to do. That's a good thing to do. If the market's not looking clean for you, then stay out of it. Simple as that. All right, let's look at the daily. So what have we got? We've dipped down into this opening gap. So we know gaps like to be filled, but we've dipped down into this gap and we've had a reaction. We've also swept the previous day low. What I'd like to see, if we're going to get expansion higher here, or are we going to potentially move lower? We're going to need to look at the lower time frame. So I'm going to move down to the hourly and see what we've got. So at the moment, all I see is bearish price action. This to me looks like that we're potentially rolling over here. We have a change in state of delivery. A bearish change in state of delivery here. So if we run out the standard deviations, I'm not going to use the wick. And the reason for that is we don't have a wick to the downside here. So I'm not interested in using the wick to the high side. I'm just happy to use the bodies. That gives us a target area down here between the -2, -2.5. This low stands out for me, this daily low. It's into a bullish FEG as well. So we could see price move down towards that level. Currently, tiny little, is there a tiny FEG here? there is a tiny little bearish FEG right in there. So at the moment, as long as we continue to respect this bearish change in the state of delivery, we respect the bearish PD arrays. You know, we do have another one, another bearish FEG up here, a little bit higher up, more of a premium level. You know, even if we do push up into here and we respect this level, I'm going to look to see lower prices today. All right, let's jump over to ES. Going to tell a similar story, no doubt. You know, it's a reasonably bearish candle. We had quite a lot of selling volume come in, so we've got this seller's wick here. We are into this gap like NQ. So again, I'd like to see price continue to move lower based on the hourly structure, not so much the daily. We have this change in state of delivery just like we did on NQ. We can see that with displacement here. We've got price coming back up into and respecting this bearish FEG, which I really like to see. We wicked off that level a couple of times as well. And just like NQ, we'll run that high to the low, giving us a target region down here, which is through the gap. We know gaps like to be filled. So that's our target area. No FEG here, but if we do get a candle closure back inside the range of the previous hourly candle, then I will continue to anticipate lower prices. And of course, whilst we continue to respect this change in state of delivery as well. This is also an hourly breaker with an FEG aligned. It's not a traditional breaker. There's no high here. But this level would show some sort of resistance. Generally speaking, a breaker has a high, a low, and then a higher high. But we don't have that high here. Oops. It's not a swing point, is what I'm saying. And you can see that when you use the line chart, there's no swing point there. It's just a move higher. All right. So looking to see price run lower on ES as well. Jumping over to oil. Now we initially had when I did my video yesterday, so always a couple of hours before New York Open. At the time, I was looking at price and considering price might continue to expand higher. As we came into New York Open, we started to see this happening. We got a change in state of delivery. So I immediately pivoted and I looked at price to be bearish. Now have a look here. We have, you know what, we're stepping up and then it's elevated down. Look how decisive this move is lower. It just takes out all that low resistance liquidity right through there. And it did it with purpose, with intent. We run our standard deviations out. Look where price runs to. It runs right into this target area. And we get a reaction out of that. How are we looking on the daily? We haven't looked there yet. Okay, so yesterday was a double sweep In other words, price came out of a bearish FEG or point of interest, and we came down into a bullish FEG, our bullish point of interest, and then closed back up inside the range of this candle here. So price, I'm going to lean on the hourly and see where price wants to go from here. At the moment, price is respecting this bearish FEG. We've also respected this bullish FEG. A little bit of indecision here. Then I want to see price close above this level here with displacement. So I want to see price displace through this level. Then I would be targeting this as my initial draw liquidity. Neutral bias until we see that take place. For me right now, I feel like price could go either way. And again, as I've said many times, if price does come through, move lower and close through the negative 2.5 here, we can anticipate price to reach this -4 level. That's why these days I don't focus on a bias directly, a daily bias directly. And what I mean by that is I don't just stick to that. If price signatures are showing me that we're going to change direction, then I'm happy to pivot. And I'll just want to be on the right side of the market to take my positions. That's all I want to do. Let's jump over to 6E. All right. Quite a bearish candle here yesterday. Currently pushed up past the 50% level of the previous day range, but we are up into this gap. We've put in devil's mark here, which generally can act as a very strong draw liquidity. We're inside previous day's range, so we haven't taken the low, and again, I'd be looking for that too. So if we move down to the hourly, we'll just clear that chart. We push through this bearish FEG, then I think we're going to have legs to continue to move higher. We do have change in state of delivery here. Okay. Got displacement through this leg. So what we need to do now is just wait and see what price does at this level. This gap is still being respected. So we really need to see a strong displacement through this level and even get through these highs here. And then this would be the draw that I'd be looking for. This wick stands out. It's obvious. That would be the draw. That is, what do we got? The Wednesday high. Let us sit neutral once again. Okay, we'll move over to Dixie because the inverse correlation, it's good to work with the two together. We can see that we have a bearish change in state of delivery. So we see basically an inverted version of EU right here. Low resistance liquidity. We still have this gap to be completely closed through. So all the same signatures as EU. I'll be looking at this level as our validation or invalidation. So right now, just like EU, you're using a bearish FEG on the hourly. Dixie's in a bullish FEG. So do we get a reversal here and then see how price reacts? Or are we going to see something like this? Looking for this low as our draw on liquidity. Neutral for Dixie, just because we are between PD arrays right now. Hopping over to gold. Currently inside previous day's range. Up into this gap, but the gap is still valid. It's not closed through yet. And it looks like we have this balanced price range here as well. Price has wicked straight off that level. We've got a devil's mark at the open of today's candle. Price just shot up with no move to the downside. If we fail this 50% level, we're coming lower. We did get a reaction out of this bullish FEG. So that said, let's have a look at the hourly. Change in the state of delivery with displacement, breakaway gap rather. Now we're testing this bullish FEG here. We haven't been able to close through. This looks like a good level for price to validate or invalidate a move higher. First, I'll be looking for this to be our draw along with Wednesday high. If we close through this level, so if price closes through this level, then we're going to continue lower. So that's the two scenarios. We find support here and we move higher, or we break this level and look for this low to be our target. So that's the scenarios for gold. Again, I know I'm neutral on all these assets, but I want to see these moves before I engage in the market. GU, equal lows, always a good draw on liquidity. Testing this gap, close above this level with the current displacement. Now we are getting a good move here. Got a breakaway gap, another bullish FEG here. This will be our draw if we continue to move higher, if we can progress higher here. Let's have a look at the daily. Yeah, it's quite a strong move here at the moment. Now I'm starting to look at this going, I think, previous day high is our draw. I will have a look at GBP to a bullish bias. Let's look at Bitcoin now. And on the daily, got previous day low, very nice. But what's good about it is we went into this bullish FEG. Using our concept, IRL to ERL, I'll be looking for price to want to reach higher. Now, the trick here is, what do we have with this candle? This is a swing point candle closure. This candle, out of a bearish point of interest, has closed back inside the range. Small wick to the high side today. This could, in fact, be an expansion candle. So we'll drop down to the hourly and clear the chart. And we have no change in state of delivery just yet. We swept out this low. I want to see a close through this level, a bullish close through this level. And by that, I want to see displacement, tiny bit of displacement there. I want to see price displace through. If we can get that displacement, then sure, we're off price going higher. And we have this lovely little curve of low resistance liquidity through here as well. That's what I'll be looking for price to run higher. The alternative is price moves up into this bearish FEG once again, and we're looking for lows. These equal lows down here look obvious. So that's our scenarios for Bitcoin. I want to see a change in state of delivery here before I'm willing to be bullish. I'm neutral pretty much across the board today. At this stage, at this time of the day. Where are we? We're just at 6 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in today. There will be no video tomorrow as I will be off camping with the family. So do have a fantastic weekend when it rolls around. Have a safe day today trading, and of course tomorrow as well if you engage in the market. And remember to grab those evals, guys. Appreciate your support. It helps support the channel. Every bit helps. And definitely please share the channel far and wide. We want to get the video out to our content out to as many traders as possible. Viewership has dropped off a little bit lately, so I really want to try and lift that, and I can definitely do that with your support. So please share the channel far and wide. Okay, guys, take care. Have a fantastic Thursday. We'll catch you over in Trade Foundry. Bye for now.